That's the general theme. And one of the three themes that we have decided for this 2-day retreat, spiritual retreat, is awakening of the buddhi or the higher mind. So I have already introduced to you Revered Swami Atmapriyananda, who was in the field of education for a very long time. He was the head of our Ramakrishna Mission Vidya Mandir in Shardapet, and later he was instrumental in starting our university, Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda University, which is adjacent to our campus in Belur Math. So he was the vice chancellor for a very long time, since its inception. He is the founder vice chancellor, and now is the pro chancellor of that same university. He continues to guide. There are various departments. It's a huge institution, started from scratch. So we have requested Maharaj. Maharaj, in fact, had several sessions on 6th and 7th in some of the colleges in Oxford University, including All Souls College, and our Swami Japa Siddhananda also gave a wonderful talk in Sanskrit in one of the departments of All Souls College in Oxford. And Maharaj has many programs lined up. Tomorrow, unfortunately, he has to go to London for a talk. So we decided to have him, so privileged that we have him today. And he will be speaking on a very important, as I said, a very important topic, awakening of the buddhi. So I would request Maharaj to please in time.
Has everybody brought the Gita?
Oh, if you remember our message that everybody should bring it.
So keep the Gita in
You can speak on the mobile, the silent mode.
so we begin. Om yo brahmanam vidadhati purvam yo vai vedascha prahinoti tasmai Tambhadevam atmabuddhi prakasham mumukshurvai sharanamaham prapadye. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya avirāvirmayedhi rudrayatte dakshinam mukham tena mam pahi nityam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shakti Samudra Samuthatarangam Darshita Prema Vijrumbhitarangam Samshaya Rakshasa Nasha Mahastram Yami Guru Sharanam Bhavavaidyam Advaya Tattva Samahita Chittam Projwala Bhakti Patavrita Vrittam Karma Kalevaram Adbhuta Cheshtam Yami Guru Sharanam Bhavavaidyam Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva. My previous speaker, Swami Shantatmananda Ji, was speaking about the Vedantic way of meditation, the yogic way of meditation. This is a very interesting subject. These two systems, yoga and Vedanta, have almost developed parallelly. And Vedanta is always feel yoga is something which unnecessarily tires people by asking them to chitta-vritti nirvana and all that. They will give you a simpler method. And there are fireworks, some of the Manduka Karika, etc. Hardcore Vedantins have some fireworks with the yogis. Like, for example, Asparsha Yogo Vainama. This yoga, we call it Asparsha Yoga, this Vedanta. Unfortunately, when we talk about Asparsha Yoga, these yogis get terribly frightened. Yogino Vipratishasmad Abhaye Bhayadarshana. We tell them Abhaya Darshana, by which fear will go. And these yogis, what a tragedy, they are terribly afraid of this yoga which gives fearlessness. So these are the kinds of discussions, which means there's a vibrant debate on all this. Nothing was taken for granted. Nothing was accepted as the face value. And the fundamental difference of the yoga and Vedanta which a long-time mentor, Revered Swami Bhajananandaji, who is the vice president now in Belur Math, he once said, you know the difference between yoga and Vedanta? Vedanta starts with inquiry. And in yoga, it's protocol based. The first sutra of the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, as you know, Atha Yoga Anushasanam. Anushasanam means protocol. The first sutra, the Brahma Sutra, called the Vedanta Sutras, is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Here, Jigyasa, inquiry, investigation, exploration is emphasized. In yoga, protocol is given. You sit straight. Not you. Yoga says. And close your eyes. Blow through this nose for some time. And blow through the other nose for some more time. Fortunately, there are only two noses. Two nostrils. So these are protocols given to you. And the numbers are also given. 1:4:2 is the number. Rechaka, Puraka, Kumbhaka, you know, some of you know definitely. These are some protocols given to you. And nobody says, why 4? Why not 10? Why not 8? Vedanta will ask these questions. Vedanta is a scientific discipline, inquiry, where we clearly Vedanta says you inquire. It's an open-ended inquiry. You do not know what should be the result. You do not anticipate the result also. You do not know where the inquiry will lead you. But very bold inquiry like in science, you go where the truth will lead you. Go on inquiring. All through the Upanishads you will find this method. They don't prescribe rules for meditation. They don't say that this is the protocol which we follow. If you follow this, you'll get something. But Vedanta tells you that if you follow this, if you get something, that something will be conditioned by what you follow. You will go on inquiring deeply. What is required for inquiry? You have to deeply desire to inquire. Jigyasa. Why should I inquire? Because I want to find out the truth. This is the fundamental qualification to which Vedanta reduced everything. It's called mumukshutva in Sanskrit, deep desire to be free. And Sri Ramakrishna talked about vyakulata. That's the only qualification for sadhana, for realization. Sri Ramakrishna reduced everything to this. I want to become free. Dukkha nivritti, sukha prapti, we talked about all this. I want sukha. I want to avoid all kinds of dukkha. Do you really want it? Most of us say the world is dukkha, like Buddha said, but we don't really in our heart of hearts feel that everything is dukkha. Otherwise, we would not be chasing the world. When I read Buddhism, the 4 noble truths, Char Arya Satta, all of you know this. First truth is, there is dukkha. When I read this first, is this the truth for which Buddha had to come? Everybody knows there is dukkha. Then later on, when I grew up, I realized we do not exactly feel in our heart of hearts that is dukkha. Otherwise, we would not be chasing it. People say, yes, there is some sorrow, the world is terrible, and some sorrow, I can't bear it anymore. Then why don't you give it up? I want to, but then there's something which tells me I can't slowly give it up. Anyway, there is not sorrow all the time. There's a mixture of sorrows, okay? And you Swamis keep on saying everything is dukkha, come on, renounce, come away. Things are not that bad. So there is a science called the management science, which says manage sorrow. In olden times, we were taught control the mind, control the senses. Now the modern science says manage anger. Anger management is a big science now. So be angry, but manage it so that people don't think you're angry. When you're terribly angry, you smile and say, "Oh, how are you?" So this is management. Management people should not take offense. Whole life we are managing. That's the problem. We don't come to terms with sorrow. We don't come to terms with anything. We are continuously managing. Swami Vivekananda once said, we see falsehood, cover it with something else. Go on covering and doing patchwork. Go on covering corpses with roses till the whole thing is a mass of patchwork. And this patchwork, we are not intensely unhappy, more or less happy and unhappy, and we get used to it. Inquiry begins when you cannot no longer remain used to it. I can't bear this anymore. Intense sorrow blow comes to you, then you know, wake up. Swami Vivekananda used to talk about that imagery of the bird in the Mundaka Upanishad. Dva suparna sayuja sakhaya samanam vriksham parishasvajate. Two birds of golden plumage were sitting in the self-same tree, which is the human body. One of them sitting at the top, majestic, happy in itself, all the time happy. The smaller bird moves here and there, eats bitter fruits and sweet fruits. Swamiji dramatically puts it. When he eats a very bitter fruit, he looks at the upper bird. Oh, how happy is the upper bird. I should be like him. And then moves a little towards the upper bird. Again forgets. Again sweet and bitter. That's our life. That's what we are doing every day. When we exceptionally feel unhappy, or when we come to the ashrama and then meditate, oh, how peaceful, how happy. I wish I should have. From tomorrow onwards, I will see that I will do this. New Year resolutions. In the December, you fill your diary with all kinds of resolutions. 1st of January, the sacred Kalpataru day, I will do this, I will do this, I will do that. If it goes for a week, you're blessed. Again, you forget. Why we forget is not known. And Vedanta is a convenient concept called avidya. For everything you blame avidya and walk away. Why did you do it? Because of ignorance. What is ignorance? That I don't know. How to remove ignorance? That I know, I can tell you that. So we go on doing this day after day, year after year, till we finally find we have become very old, the teeth have fallen, and you are tottering with a stick. The Bhashyakara Bhagavan Shankara Bhagavad Pada, the great Vedantin, describes old age so grammatically. Angam galitam palitam mundam dashana videnam jatam tundam vruddho yati grihitva dandam tadapi namunchat jasha pindam. Then you say, oh, what have I done? Whole life I have wasted like this. The Ramakrishna says in the Gospel of Ramakrishna, then Lord responds saying, yes, yes, what have you done? Life goes on. Then bitter as the fruit when you bite. Then you go very near the upper bird and overwhelmed with the luminosity and the effulgence of the upper bird, suddenly you see, I'm also effulgent. Then the realization dawns upon the small bird, I was never a separate entity called a small bird. I was all the time the bigger bird. That's called Ahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, and so on. So Vedanta, in that sense, does not prescribe anything. There's a problem in Vedanta. When people talk about Vedanta, no, Atmapriyananda constantly speaks about the Advaita Vedanta, Nirvisha Viveka, and all the knowledge. You know this. But what is to be done? Once I was there, at the end of the talk, somebody said, Swami, all this is beautiful. We are simply enamored of your talk. But what should we do? The answer Vedanta gives is very interesting. This question was put to Swami Vivekananda. One gentleman came excited. Americans always want to do something. That's why yoga suits them. You do this, I can do that. Vedanta says be. Be. What should I do to be? And there's nothing to do. Just be the Atma. As Ramana Maharshi constantly says, just be aware. So Vedanta doesn't have prescriptions. Vedanta says, just be. Don't try to do anything. Now, when the question of calming the mind, question of attaining Shanti, ultimately we want Sukha and Shanti are concomitants of each other. Ashantas kutas sukham, as Shantatmanji mentioned from the Gita. A person who does not have peace cannot have happiness or joy either. So you want Shanti. So the two ways of attaining Shanti, open the Gita, second chapter, towards the end, verses 70 and 71. If you have the Gita online, offline, soft, hard, we have also reduced the Gita to soft and hard. Look at the verse 70. Verse 70 is the Vedantic way of meditation, Vedantic way of attaining Shanti. It's put one below the other. Very interesting. Bhagavan Krishna puts one below the other, entirely two different approaches. 70, so I read it for you. I don't expect you to repeat because most of you may not be familiar with these verses. Apuryamana machala pratishtham samudramabha pravishanti tadyadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti na kamakame. Sashantimapnoti. Shantimapnoti, he attains to peace. He means she also. Who is that person who identifies himself with the infinite reality, even feels, if not realizes, that he is the vast infinite ocean of consciousness. And in that vast ocean, several rivers come and enter. Ganga enters, and Yamuna enters, and Kaveri enters. And what does the ocean say? Ocean, no, you are disturbing me, don't come. I am closing, I am meditating, please don't disturb me. So many thoughts come. Vedanta says, what is the problem when thoughts come? We have taken for granted thoughts are a problem. What is the nature of mind? What does mind do? Mind thinks. The mind doesn't think is no mind, which happens in Sushupti or deep sleep. Deep sleep, there's no mind at all because there's no thoughts. So thoughts are the fundamental characteristics of the mind. And if you say Chittavritti should be controlled, there will be no thought at all. Vedanta says no thought is possible. It's called Amani Bhava in the Mandukya, Upanishad and Karika. Mind should become no mind. So what do you do for that? Don't worry about thoughts, let thoughts come. When disturbing thoughts come in meditation, what do? Let them come and go. You be calm. Swami Vivekananda writes in a letter, clouds of happiness and misery pass over me. I am that infinite blue sky. When the dark cloud comes, dark cloud is coming, Vishnu, push it away. Viparita bhavana, pratipaksha bhavana, yoga will tell you. Vedanta says, dark cloud comes, let it come. White cloud comes, let it also come. It has nothing to do with me. See how the approach is different. Vedanta goes by detachment. These clouds may come and go, I have nothing to do with them. The fundamental principle in the Gita is detachment. Anashakti. Why should I identify with these thoughts? Tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve is a dangerous statement. Allow all desires to enter you. Just now I said, kill all desires. More, can they be so easily removed? Desires will keep coming as long as thoughts are there. And thoughts will be there. Why is it difficult to do chittavritti nirodha, controlling of thoughts? Why is it difficult? Because thoughts have to be controlled by whom? By the mind itself, which thinks the thoughts. That means you are asking the mind to kill itself. The mind has to commit suicide in order that illumination can come. Will anybody consciously commit suicide? Mind refuses. Behind the mind is the ahankara, the ego. We say, don't listen to this fellow. I will die then. The ego will go. Will the ego at any time allow you to kill itself? No, it will go on. That's why you find it extremely difficult in Chittavritti Nirodha aspect. Vedanta says, allow thoughts to come and go. You have nothing to do with them. You are the infinite self. Swami Vivekananda repeatedly mentioned that, particularly in London, where he gave the famous Jnana Yoga lectures, in which he said, you are the infinite self. Think of it, dream of it. Savaramaran and Didhyasana talked about. We did not go that far. Imagine yourself in the infinite. People may say, oh, it's all imagination. The answer given by Swamiji was, everything is imagination. You imagine all kinds of useless things. For change, you imagine something which is good. An American gentleman came to Swamiji and said, Swamiji, you are hypnotizing us. We feel we are small, feel we are limited, we feel we are full of sorrow. You say you are the hairs of immortal bliss. We don't feel that. We are small, we are limited, we are ignorant. We are extremely full of sorrow, and you say you have no sorrow, you have no death. This is a kind of hypnosis you are practicing on us. Swamiji said, oh, well, I'm just doing the opposite. I'm de-hypnotizing you. You have been hypnotized into thinking you are small, you are limited. From childhood, you have been hypnotized. Who hypnotized you? The program of hypnotization, which is called Prakriti. Prakriti or nature has given you this wrong idea from childhood. When the child is born, the mother tells, he is your papa. Say papa. Papa. You have been conditioned from childhood. You are small, you are limited, you are a male, you are a female. And this is your family. I am your mother, he, she, your father. This conditioning is extremely difficult to go. Even Swami Vivekananda's Narendranath cried out when Ramakrishna gave him a spiritual impulse and wanted to take him to the highest nirvikalpa samadhi. What did Naren say? Ogo ki korchi amar baap ma ache badite. What are you doing to me? I have parents at home. Ramakrishna was quite disappointed. And he used to taunt Naren till the end with this statement. Naren also said, I have parents at home. That means even such an extraordinarily spiritually elevated soul who came, as Ramakrishna said, from Saptarishi Bandara, even he could not get to the attachment to the body, to the parents. I am so and so, I am a child of so and so. It is not easy. The Anadya Vidya Maya, Shankaracharya, famous commentator, Bhashyakara, and one of the version in the Kathoparishad. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudhotmana prakashate drishyate tvagriya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshibhi. That's the verse. This Atman which is hidden in the hearts of all beings, gudhotma na prakashate, it is not manifested. Sarveshu bhuteshu gudhotma na prakashate. But how can it be seen? How can it be realized? By extremely sharp, purified intelligence. That's called the Dhi. I'm coming to that. There, Shankaracharya raises his great poetic eloquence, as Swami Vivekananda in Jnana Yoga lectures. Aho adigambhira duravagakya vichitra chayam maya yadayam sarvo jantuhu Paramatma satatvopi aham paramatma iti na grinhati anuchyamanopi aham mumusha putra iti grinhati. 100 times the Shastras tell you, the Guru tells you, you are not the small little entity encased in this body-mind complex. You are that infinite self. Come on, realize this. And with great compassion and kindness and affection, Ashtavakra Muni says to Janaka, Shraddhasva, Tata, Shraddhasva, Atmatvam, Prakrite Paraha. Oh, my child. Tata is a word. Actually, it means the grandfather. And children also sometimes are affectionately called Tata. Hey, Tata, my child. Shraddhasva, believe this, believe this. What is to be believed? Atmatvam, Prakrite Paraha. You are that self, you are the Atman beyond nature. Nature is Trigunatmika Prakriti, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, which has bound you into believing you are a small little entity encased in this body-mind complex and made to feel I am unhappy, I am happy, I am a great scholar, I am ignorant. All kinds of these ideas come to you and bind you to believing that you are small and limited. And you have been conditioned, and the IT people will say, you have been programmed that way since beginning. Now, yoga says, change the program. You want to control Prakriti all the time. You're terribly afraid Prakriti is coming and catching me. You can't change the program unless you know the source code. Source code is known only by Ishvara, who has programmed it. So you're given the program, that's it. So that method doesn't work. So you have been programmed into thinking this. You put a counter program. One small virus introduced, so the program doesn't work anymore. That blessed virus is called Vidya, is called Vedanta Chintan. That's not a virus. Virus can usually damage you. It can also help you. You know the principle of vaccine? If you're affected by a virus, that virus itself is injected into the body, so the antibodies are created. And therefore, that virus will not any longer affect you. The principle is very interesting. Nobody can be affected by one's own dharma. Fire burns everything. Why doesn't fire burn itself? Because fire, burning property of the fire is the inherent property of fire, and the inherent property of fire will not affect the fire itself. It's a very important principle in science as well as in Vedanta. So you constantly counter-think that I am the infinite. It's not counter-thinking, it is the right thinking. You have been counter-thinking all the time since beginning. So you have been hypnotized into thinking through a program which is handed over to you by Prakriti. Paranji khane vidranat swayambhus tasmat parang pashyati antaratman kathopanishad. It says the Swayambhu, the great programmer, has made all the senses outgoing. The mischievous fellow. If senses had been not outgoing, you don't have to see seminars and retreats and so on. He created the senses and made them outgoing. So all the senses go out. So you are fighting against the supreme principle of the programmer if you want to take it to the universe. So that's a very difficult method. So two procedures are given. One is jnana, for people who are bold enough, and bhakti, who are not that bold like us. Lord comes and says, you come to me, I will reprogram. Don't worry. But we don't have that much of faith. He says, come to me, I will. You go there for some time, will it work? Let me try for a week. So nothing seems to be happening, let me walk away. So with tremendous Shraddha and faith, if you go to the Lord, this is what the Gita says. Gita repeatedly will tell you, chapter after chapter, that you do all this, ultimately you come to me, I will save you. So this shloka says, a person who remains Rapuryamana Machala Pradeshtam Samudram, he remains the infinite huge ocean which can take in and accommodate all the rivers in the world. It doesn't bother. You come Jamuna, come Ganga, come Kaveri, what can you do to me? And if you remain as the infinite, unassailable, infinite samudra, ocean of consciousness, nothing can affect you. This is one method which is given in this shloka, which is the Vedanta method. Vedanta does not go for control. It goes for the awareness and realization that you're infinite and Prakriti cannot do anything to you. Prakriti is observing to you. Atmaiva hi prabhavate na jadak kadachit. Swamiji said, Atman alone will triumph and the Jada Prakriti can have no sway over you. Assert yourself. Realize yourself. Put your foot down and say, Prakriti cannot do anything to you. Don't fight Prakriti. Tantra also says this. Don't go to fight Mahamaya. She is too powerful. So, there are two approaches once again. The Gita is mentioned. One approach is to the Vedantic approach, in which you want to control Mahamaya. Daivi Hesha Gunamaye Mamamaya Duratyaya Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. This is very difficult to control. So come to me. I will give you refuge. I will give you protection so that you can cross over Maya. The very risky method in Kali Yuga. You can't complain against everybody. Immediately the agitation is everywhere and people come together. No, we will not accept this. The place from which I come, I have lived there for 47 years. Every day there is some kind of a procession. People, I will not accept this, I will not accept that. So don't try that method. There is another method Tantra gives, that's Ramakrishna's method. Go to Maya itself. Capitalize the M and put in Maha before it. What do you get? Mahamaya. And go and tell Mahamaya, Mother, I am too weak. If you tempt me, if you take me above any other wrong path, I can't do anything. I can't resist your power. So please, you yourself be condescending enough. You be compassionate and protect him. Then Mother being compassionate, she protects you. This is a story in Ramakrishna's Gospel. Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita Devi were going in a single line. This is a very narrow lane. Lakshmana being the Jiva, Sita is the Mahamaya, and Ramchandra the Paramatman. The Jivatman could not see the Paramatman because Sita is in between. He could do two things. He can call up Rama. Rama, am I audible? Yes. So please tell Sita, step aside. I can't see you. Then Rama tells Sita, you step aside. Lakshmana cannot see me. That is one method. Mame vaye prapadyante vaya metam tarantite. Another method is, tell Sita herself, Mother, I can't see Rama. Why don't you step aside? Mother steps aside, much easier and less pain. So someone has mentioned this. Kalite Tantra mat. Vedir mat cholena. In Kali Yuga, Tantra mat means you go to the Mahamaya, who is the root of all mischief, and then tell her, she will solve the problem. He also gives a beautiful example. A magician has tied a knot and challenges people to untie this. The more you pull the rope, the more it gets tightened. Then he comes and then just shakes it and it is untied. Why? Because the person who has tied the knot also knows how to untie it. So Mahamaya has put you in this. Mahamaya can also release you. That's one aspect. So this one is a Vedantic method of attaining Shanti. Always think of yourself as huge ocean of consciousness and say, sorrows and miseries will come. I'm not denying them. I'm not saying they're unreal, like the ultra Vedantists would have you believe. They're all Maya, there's nothing there. So Ramakrishna finally used to say, that thorn has struck you, has pricked your skin, and blood is oozing out. Oh, there is no thorn. There is no blood. Will it work? It is there. You have to accept the reality. The Advaita solves the problem. This is the Vyavaharika reality and this Paramarthika reality just to solve the problem in a way. So he says, you identify yourself with the infinite and the supreme, which you really are. What should you do to identify yourself with the supreme infinite reality? You should disidentify from the finite reality. Simple. The moment you disidentify yourself, the conditioned reality which you have been continuously taught since childhood for millions of years and millions of janmas, you have been conditioned into believing you are small, you are little, you are helpless, and nobody can save you. Decondition yourself, dehypnotize yourself. How do you do it? Through Shastras and the Guru. The Shastras, that's why Shastras are extremely important. My request to all of you, at least one Shastra called the Bhagavad Gita, to read it well, memorize the shlokas as far as possible, and think about the meaning of these shlokas. This is one Shastra which is the essence of all Shastras. Sri Ramakrishna also mentioned this. All the Acharyas have said, Sarvo Purishado Gavo Dukta Goparanandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Duktham Gita Amritam Mahat. This Gita Amrita, this nectar of the Gita, coming with the essence of the Upanishads. So this is one method which is not very difficult to practice. Whenever difficulties come, whenever troubles come, the troubles come and go. In what way I am affected? Troubles affect whom? Affect the mind? Affect the body? I am not the body and the mind. Atmatvam prakrite paraha. I am beyond the prakriti. I am not the body or the mind. I am encased in the body and the mind. I need them, but I will not be conditioned by them. So tell yourself repeatedly, because that is the truth. No harm repeating the truth as long as you realize it. Swami Vivekananda's Jnana Yoga lectures, if you read, because in London I constantly remembering the Jnana Yoga lectures. He said, think of it, dream it, meditate about it, realize it. Repeatedly says it only. As was spoken earlier, Shravana Manana Nidhyasana, you listen to this again and again. From a Sadguru, from a realized, illumined teacher, then reflect on the meaning. Meditation means reflection. You go on reflecting, what could be the meaning? Whenever weakness comes, whenever the thought of your body mind comes, you again fall back on the teaching of the Upanishads and the Gita, which tells you are the divine. My teacher told me, the scripture tells me that I am the divine. Why should I be upset about this? After all, this will come and go. Because anything which is in Prakriti is subject to change. The body changes, mind also changes. So why should you worry about a sorrow which will not last tomorrow? The standard question in all such retreats, we have faced many of them, the devotees will ask, oh, my mind is not steady, I can't control my mind. How to control the mind? Then the standard reply all of us are being tutored to give, oh, this question was asked by Arjuna, Abhyasena de Kaunteya, Vairagyena de Grikhyate, Abhyasa and Vairagya, go on practicing. So you believe the Swami, go on practicing, nothing happens. I've been practicing. Similar question was raised several years ago, Velur much when we were having a satsang like this. One lady said, when I sit for meditation, so many undesirable thoughts come and disturb me. I said, let them come. What is the problem? Huh? Undesirable thoughts? You say there's no problem? Then I said, answer my question. What is today? Today is 8th of June 2024. We are in London. So do you meditate every day? Yes, of course I meditate. 8th of June 2023, did you meditate? Yes, I did. Can you tell me what are the thoughts which came and disturbed you at that time? Oh, I don't remember any of them. 2022? No. 2020? No. So why are you perturbed about thoughts you don't remember even? See the Vedanta method. So why do you worry about thoughts at all? They come and disturb you, I should do something to them. Don't do anything to them, let them come and go. As long as the mind exists, thoughts are bound to be there. So don't unnecessarily keep trying to control them. You can't, unless you go beyond Prakriti. This is a very important idea to understand that no problem can be solved at the same level in which the problem was initially created. This is the principle given by Albert Einstein, the great physicist. Very interesting principle. You create a problem at a certain level. To be able to solve that problem, you have to go to a different level of consciousness in which the problem is solved. How is it solved? There are two ways of solving a problem. One is solving the problem, other is dissolving the problem. I'll give you an example. This happened to me. I was going to Bombay for Durga Puja, and the Swami at that time, this is years ago, said, bring some chandmala, special decoration for the Durga, which was at that time not easily available in Bombay. So I carried it from Calcutta. I was going by train. The other station, train was stopped just 2 minutes. I was very anxious to get down. Plenty of time is there, but we always rush. We imagine there's no time. I got down, forgot the chandmala. When I went to the hospital, Ari, where is it? I forgot that. I feel very bad. It's expensive also. So this thought was constant in my mind. So I had a dream. In the dream, I had a very expensive some material I kept in a bag. I forgot in a train. I got down, the train left. Then I was running to the behind the train. How can you run behind a train? I went to the station master, complained, etc. I was sweating, desperate. Suddenly the dream broke. Oh, did I solve the problem of the missing bag? Yes or no? One half says yes, the other half says no. The answer is yes and no. I did not solve the problem by recovering the bag, but I did solve the problem by dissolving the problem. My state of consciousness was completely reoriented to a different level of consciousness. From the waking state, I went to dream state. From dream state, I came back to the waking state. The problem which occurred in the dream state did not exist in the waking state. In that sense, the problem was solved by dissolution of the problem. This is what Vedanta says. To solve the problem. If you look at the problem as a problem and try to solve it, you can solve it only at a level which is beyond the level at which the problem was initially created. It's a very important principle which is attributed to Einstein, which is what Vedanta discovered long, long ago. Reorient your level of consciousness. Go to a different level of consciousness in which the problem ceases to be a problem. Take a simple example. All of us were children once upon a time. Is that true? We were fond of balloons and dolls. And there's a competition between children who will blow the balloon to the maximum extent. You keep on blowing, suddenly it burst. Then crying, I go to the mom and say, I told you not to blow beyond the point, you will not get another. Oh, I want one more. We are now laughing at it. But for the child, that's a huge problem. The problem of the burst the balloon is a problem which is a real, true problem for the child at that time, at that level of consciousness. When we outgrow it, when we grow meaning outgrow. When you outgrow it, you laugh at yourself. See, I was so, when I was a child, I did this, you remember. When your child does it, he also says, I also used to do this. So, when you, how did you solve the problem of the burst balloon and the mom denying you one more? You solved it by outgrowing it. You grew bigger and the problem no longer existed. So can you solve the problem of sorrow, problem of unhappiness, dukkha nivritti, by outgrowing dukkha itself? You come to a level of consciousness and dukkha may exist apparently, but for you it is neither dukkha nor sukha. Swamiji's beautiful example. Clouds of happiness and misery pass over me, but I am the infinite blue sky. There's another example Swami Vivekananda gave. Mosquito was sitting in the heart of a bull and constantly biting the bull. After some time, it felt so bad. It told the bull, Mr. Bull, I'm so sorry. I've been troubling you for a long time. I'm now leaving. The bull looked up and saw, oh, you are there. I never noticed you. Come and settle down on my horn with your entire family all life. What can you do to me? This is the Vedantic method. What can anybody do to me? I am so full of sorrow, unhappiness. Nobody can make me unhappy unless I choose to become unhappy. It's a very important principle. Some people are very, very happy in unhappiness. All of us are. When you are not unhappy, you feel very unhappy. Because, you know why? This is psychological. Psychologically, if you are unhappy, you will have 100 people coming and patting you on the back, giving you consolation. You call people and say, I'm so unhappy. Say, no, no, don't worry. But we are telling a person he's equally unhappy. Don't call a person and say share your unhappiness. You call God. You know the number? 0. 0 and Om are the same. You call him because he is one person who is beyond sorrow. This is the bhakti. So nobody can make me unhappy unless I choose to become unhappy. Swamiji said this. I choose to become unhappy and therefore I am unhappy. If I choose to become happy, I can be happy. Maneva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Bandha and moksha, bondage and liberation, the mind alone is the cause. If you think I am free, I am free. If you think I am bound, I am bound. The bhava, the attitude with which you take it is most important. People are running behind chasing a small leather ball like mad, and it's $1 billion game called soccer. One small ball everybody is chasing. And there you don't feel unhappy. Somebody kicks you, somebody you fall down, and then there's a foul, etc. You enjoy the game. When misery comes, undesirable thoughts come. Oh, undesirable thoughts come. I want to have a game with you. This is Vedanta. All the rivers will come and merge in you, but the river is calm and happy. Now, just the opposite in the next shloka. This is the genius of Ramakrishna. He gives you both the choices, both the methods. You take it according to your temperament, according to the capacity which you have, according to the level of boldness that you have to face the truth. Next shloka, 71. Vihaya kaman yas sarvan umams charati nispraha nirmamo nirahankaras shantimati gacchati. Both the shlokas say shantimati gacchati, shantimapnoti. This method is the yogic method which says Vihaya kaman, giving up all desires, which was discussed elaborately. Sarvan kama, not only one kama, two kamas, all the kamanas. Pumas charati nispriha. Mark this word. This word of nispriha, sangavarjita, unattached, will occur in the Gita repeatedly 100 times. Sri Krishna says there is no problem about anything. Don't be attached. Do anything that you like. It is the ego which attaches which creates all problems. Already there's a problem is there. We poke our nose there, then go. The ego enters there and says, I suffer. Why did you enter into it? Because we choose the enter. Swamiji once said, one disciple, American disciple, said, Swamiji, I think the world is like a stage in which you are actors, isn't it? Quoting from Shakespeare. Swamiji said, smiled and said, but I think slightly differently. The world is a huge circus in which We are come to tumble down as clowns. Jesters and clowns and circuses, they keep on tumbling down just to show, give happiness to people. People clap and people feel happy. We are like clowns who come to tumble down. And she was, Swami, why do we tumble down? Because we like tumbling down. And when we are tired, we'll quit. Remember this statement. These are all gems of statements of Swamiji's casual remarks. We like tumbling down. We like to be unhappy. We like to be happy. We like to be moving around. When we are tired of this, I have had enough of it. No more. Then you come to the ultimate realization. Shankaracharya, the Bhashya, Mundokopanishad Bhashya, he calls Alam Pratyayavan. Who is a sadhaka? Who is an aspirant? Alam Pratyayavan. Alam means enough. A person in whose heart has risen the feeling, enough is enough. No more. I've had enough of this. I've come as a man, I've come as a woman, I've come as an insect, I've come as a dog or a cat. For millions of lives I've been playing this game of life, tumbling down all the time. Now, no more. The moment you say this, Alam Pratyayavan, you expect something from the world, then you have to come again and again and again. This is called Nirvasana. Holy Mother Sharada Devi said beautifully, it is the Vasana, the desire which pulls you down. Give up Vasana, this moment you are liberated. So he says, Nirmamo Nirahankara. Why do you want to get attached to this? Who gets attached? I get attached. The moment they say I, mine also follows. That's a very interesting principle in Vedanta. Whenever they talk about Ahankara, they'll call it Mamakara. Mamakara means mine. Ahankara means the feeling of I. I was thinking, why I and mine are always related? I itself is enough. Why? Because I cannot remain in isolation. I has to remain attached to something or somebody, some object. This is my chair. This is my book. This is my lecture. Unless the my is attached, I cannot stand alone. There's very, very bold sadhakas, great jnanis, they can isolate the I. Doctors do, they isolate. Take the I away. When you isolate the I, it dies. I is the greatest survivor in the world. It will never die. Ultimately, go on inquiring. You are very boldly isolated the I. So almost you attain nirahankaratva, egolessness. In the I, very intelligently, what it does is, it enters in the egolessness. Have you seen anybody who is egoless like me? No, Swami, you are so egoless and so I don't know Ahankara at all. So Ahankara enters into the Nirahankara. This is the trick it plays. In Bengali, we call it Shorsharvantya Bhoot. The story is mustard seeds, which are incantated with mantra, they are used to exorcise ghosts, the Christian parables. A ghost has entered into your body. How to drive it away? Take some mustard seeds and then empower them with some mantras, chants, and then throw them at the person who has been possessed by a ghost, and the ghost has to move out. And the ghost being too clever by the half, says, can I go away now? He enters in the mustard seed itself and re-enters the body when it is thrown. This is what the ego does. You try again at the very end, it enters into the egolessness feeling of your mind and again enters into your ego. So Ramakrishna gives you beautiful, it's all in the Kathamrita, and the Gita and the Kathamrita contain everything. So the ego cannot go easily like Ashwatha. You cut it, again it sprouts. You cut it, again it sprouts. So he says, Nirmamo Nirahankara, beginning to end, Gita will talk about this. So Shantimati Gacchati. Now, what is the method? Ultimately, he says there is no method. Methodlessness is the method. That's extreme ultra Vedanta talks about this. As I said, an American gentleman, they want to do something, they came to Swami. Swami, what are we to do? Desperate to do something. Swamiji smiled and said, nothing. Nothing. Then after a pause, he added, if you can't really do it, do some good to society. If you can't really do nothing, do something to society. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, one of the greatest jnanis of modern times, is Shummar. Just be. Not simply keeping quiet, but your mind should be rid of thoughts. We want to do something all the time, achieve something all the time. Nothing for you to achieve, nothing for you to do. Everything is done by Prakriti. Then should we keep quiet? We should not keep quiet, but keep on doing, only to know doing has no meaning. It's a Ramakrishna story, many of you may remember. A bird was sitting in the mast of a ship. The bird was unmindful and the ship left. After a long time, the ship suddenly saw, where am I? I had to go back home. Started flying east, west, north, south. There's water and water everywhere. Then it realized, oh, I come too far away, I can't go back anymore. Then simply settled on the mast of ship, happily and peacefully. When you come to that position in which you realize that nothing can be done, whatever you do, there is some success, some failure, some sorrow, some joy, but the whole exercise of doing makes you strong. Swami just defined once again, the world is a gymnasium in which the soul comes to make itself strong. You realize, I have been doing this and doing that, ultimately what's going to happen? Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami were two brothers. In the Vaishnava Sampradaya, they were greatly human, the Chaitanya Sampradaya. Once, Rupa Goswami wrote to his brother Sanatan Goswami, Kogatha Mathurapuri, my brother, where did Mathura go? Where did Ayodhya go? Everything ultimately changes, everything is destroyed. Everything changes. So realizing the world, I must say, is Maya, is Anitya, it keeps on changing. So keep quiet and put your mind in the Lord. He is the only person who does not change, fortunately. If he also changed, where will you go? Many people ask what the proof of God. The proof of God is this, he is the only changeless entity by definition. Who is God? God is the only changeless, immortal entity. Is it necessary to have this immortal and changeless entity? Why? Because everything changes, then there's no meaning in life. Human being seeks meaning in life. A man is a meaning-seeking creature. You go back home only to find the house is not there. Just as here, over is changed to some other place. Your mind changes, your body changes, people change, your places change. The change occurs in space, time, and causation. Desha and Kala. When we come from India to UK, all the currency notes, Indian currency at the pockets are meaningless because they change a new place. And suddenly the government of India announced from tomorrow, high denomination notes will not be any longer valid. I had all the notes in my pocket. I wake up and see they are no longer valid. So time and space is where change occurs. Therefore, if something which is changeless, it has to be beyond time, beyond space, simple logic. That which is beyond time and beyond space, that has to be infinite. Why? If it is finite, it will be conditioned by time and space. Only infinity is unconditioned, beyond time and beyond space. If it is infinity, beyond time and space, it has to be one. Why? Swami Vivekananda explains, if there are two infinities, one will limit the other, both will become finite. So that has to be one. If it is one, it should be me. Because there are two apart from me, then again it will become two. And therefore, I am that infinite Tattvamasi Aham Brahmasmi, QED, thus proved. This is how Vedanta proves it. It's very simple. But as Swamiji beautifully says in the Aratrikahim, Vaktrodhridand, Hridimena is a Bhatikanchit. I talk about all this, I'm also talking about it. And you're also hearing. None of us really understand. That's why seminars are possible, retreats are possible every year. So we talk about all this, but doesn't get deep into our consciousness. That's why sadhana is required. These ideas should be living and true and effulgent in your consciousness. How does it happen? This happens by the awakening of buddhi. The Swami has given me endless time, so I go on. So this is possible only when the awakening of the buddhi takes place. What is buddhi? Comes from the buddha dhatu, tin, is there. Most of these are feminine. It's interesting. Anything related to intelligence are all feminine. Vidya is feminine, prajna is feminine, dhi is feminine, medha is feminine, buddhi is feminine. There is no male intelligence at all. And Saraswati, the female deity, presides over Paravidya and Aparavidya. Buddha means to know, to awaken. Buddha is the awakened one. Prabuddha Bharata, awakened India. So awaken. This is a very important idea of awakening. All of us sitting here, are we awakened? Nobody is sleeping. Blessed are they who go to sleep, because they don't disturb others, so nobody can disturb them. One of the most important tasks of a speaker is to keep the audience awake till the end. So some witty things, remarks on the one, then everybody laughs at me. Because even if you doze off, others laugh loudly than you. I'm seeing the people here. Our problem is to awaken. Swami Vivekananda once wrote, I teach only one thing. Awake, 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 awake. Uttishtata, jagrata, prapya varan, nibodhata. Arise and awake. Uttishtata, jagrata, when I read it for the first time, it should have been the other way about. First jagrata, then only uttishtha. How can you rise up before you are awake? The idea is, you may arise, uttishtata, but half sleepy or fully sleepy. There Shankaracharya says in his beautiful Bhashya, Anadi Avidya Maya. In the Anadi Avidya, the beginningless Maya, all the jivas, all of you are asleep. Come on, uttishtata, uttishtata. And in that Bhashya, very lovingly and affectionately says, Shruti is telling this, iti Shruti anukampaya aha matravat, like a kind mother. Shruti is telling you, don't be asleep, come on, awake, awake. Don't neglect this teaching. In another place he says, Matraputra sahasrepya paramajdaishanan vedena upadishtam nupekshitavyam. Like thousands of mothers and fathers, parents, the Shruti is giving you this teaching. Don't neglect this teaching. The Shruti, the Rishis, etc., they sang the song called the Upanishads and the Vedas with the fullness of joy in order to bring this realization to everybody and awaken them. All these great incarnations of God, Swami Vivekananda moved all through the world. How many lectures he gave? The new discoveries, the author, Mrs. Louisberg says, he used to give 21 to 22 lectures in a week. He used to travel all night and lecture all day. Why? Just to awaken people. These great souls feel so much of compassion, the kind of joy which they are feeling within. They want to share. All these people are asleep. They go on saying, awake, 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 awake. It's called buddhi. The awakening. The first awakening takes place. We normally confuse buddhi with ordinary intellect. I think you are exposed to Panchakosha to some extent. The kosha word is not there in the original Sanskrit, original Upanishad. Bhajananand used to tell us. The kosha word was introduced by Shankaracharya in place of the Atma. to suit his philosophy. The Upanishad itself says, the text says, Annamaya Atma, Pranamaya Atma, Manomaya Atma, Vijnanamaya Atma, Anandamaya Atma. Now, the level of ideas, which we ordinarily call intellect, which is in the Mastika, the head, that is at the level of Manipura, Manomaya. And you also parallelly keep the Shat Chakra in mind. You know the Shat Chakra? The six chakras in the human body, according to Tantra: Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Agya, and Sahasrara is not considered a chakra, it is seventh. Now, as you move along, when you are Muladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipura, you are the plane of sensuality. It could be sensuality of the senses, or it could be sensuality of the mind also. You enjoy beautiful music, you read a book and feel, oh, I'm so happy. That's also sensuality. Mind is involved. It becomes non-sensual only when the mind is partially at least eliminated. So in the Manipura Chakra or the Manomaya, when you come, you live in ideas. Even then the buddhi is not awake. You may be very intelligent. You may see people who are extraordinarily intelligent. When it comes to IT, when it comes to computer science and data science and AI now, they may be well versed in artificial intelligence. The real intelligence they don't possess. Because the artificial intelligence, AI, somebody told me, versus AI of spirituality, which is absolute intelligence, both are AI. They may be remarkably good, but spiritual truths they don't understand. I've seen many people. I don't quite understand what you're saying. Because they may have the intellect, but the intelligence is not awakened still. Which is the most glorious example in the Ramakrishna literature. The author of the gospel, the recorder of the gospel, M. M thought he was extremely intelligent. Why? Because he read so many books. So Ramakrishna asks him, you may remember the conversation, very remarkable conversation. As you are married, you have children, then Ori Ramlar, etc., you know this. Then he said, what kind of person is your wife? The Parivar came on. Vidya Shakti, na Vidya Shakti. M couldn't understand what the terms meant. Then he said, Agya bhalo, kintu agya. She is good, but ignorant. So Ramakrishna sharply said, Aar tumi jnani, and you are jnani. These three words, M says, crushed his ego. See how elevated a person should be just by three words of Sri Ramakrishna. Avatara comes to crush your ego. They are Darpahari. That is the significance of the Kaliya Mardana, the story of Sri Krishna dancing on a 1,000-hooded snake. You know the story. The ego. Ego manifests in 1,000 heads. In different ways it goes. So the avatar comes and crushes the ego first. Then M himself writes, look at the genuineness of the person. Kake gyan bole, kake agyan bole, master ekone janiten na. M did not know at that time what is jnana and what is agyana. Prochur boi podle gyan hoy, boi na podle gyan hoy na bole dharna chilo. He writes. He thought by reading a lot of books and acquiring knowledge from books, then a person becomes a jnani. And if a person can't read books, doesn't read books, he is a jnani. Ore janite paralen, Ishwar ke jana hi gyan, Ishwar ke na jana gyan. No God is ultimate. Not knowing him is a jnana. What is knowing him? The buddhi up to the Manipura is not what is being meant by the buddhi in Vedanta. It is also called dhi, to distinguish from buddhi perhaps, which is the essence of the Gayatri mantra. Dhiyo yo na prachodayat. May he awaken my higher intelligence, through which I'll be able to intuit the higher truths. That happens when they go to the anahata. Anahata, here in the heart. When you come to the heart, Ramakrishna explains, then you see a mysterious kind of light, which is uncreated light. And simultaneously, or after or later, the yogi's experience says, you see an unstruck sound, which is anahata. I strike, there is a sound. No sound. Unless there is striking, no sound is possible. If sound arises without striking, it has no beginning, because there is no striking and therefore no end. If there is no beginning and no end, it should be eternal. Shashvata. So the yogi's experience, Ramakrishna said, Uttapari used to say at midnight, Mahanishi, the yogis can hear the anahata. Swami Shantanandaji, the disciple of Mother, constantly used to hear the anahata. Whenever Brahmacharya, I see him, so I also had the blessed fortune of meeting him. Says, can you hear the anahata? Can you hear the anahata? No, how can you hear the anahata? We are hearing, but the tumultuous noise of our mind, that whole thing is completely suppressed. So the dhvani, the sound, simultaneously, a little after or later, the vision of the mysterious light. This is the awakening of the dhi. This is called the uncreated light in the Christian mysticism. And this is the light of consciousness. This is the Jivatman is awakening. This place in Anahata is called the place of Jivatman. When you awaken to this, you get spiritual truths realized so easily. And the Medha Suktam in the Vedas calls it the Medha. You can delve deep into the meaning of the Shastras and a flash understand what they mean. Avagahana Shakti, the Shayana says, you can delve deep into the meanings of scriptures. The capacity to be able to delve deep and understand the meaning is called Avagahana Shakti. This is called Medha. And there is a Medha Suktam, which clearly describes Medha, and then prays, may that Medha Devi come to me and illumine me. Medha Devi Jushamana Naaga Vishwaki Bhadra Sumanasyavana, etc. It goes. And it's also called Pragya in the yoga system. Pragyaloka. Aloka means light. Pragyaloka is the light of pragya, light of consciousness. Have you seen miners entering the mines? They can't carry a torch. You know what they do? They carry a light on the top when they wear the hat, and that leads them. Exactly the same way, the darkness of the world, when you move, the light comes from your heart and shows the way. You don't make a mistake. And that's called Nishchayatmika Buddhi in Vedanta. And in the Gita, it's called Sattvika Buddhi. Refer to the Gita. This is called Sattvika Buddhi. Anubandha. Pravritti is called 18.30. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye andham moksham jayaveti buddhissa partha sattviki. That which understand what is pravritti, what is nivritti, what should be done, what should not be done, what is bondage, what is liberation. We are always confused. What should I do now? To be or not to be, that is the question. It clearly which determines and tells you do this and don't do this. That which is bondage becomes liberation, that which is liberation we call it a bondage. So that buddhi, sattvika buddhi, which is the dhi, which is the prajna, leads you like a light in the darkness of samsara. The first step in spiritual life is mentioned in many places in the scriptures as well as later on. Ramakrishna also mentioned in the Kathamrita. That is the awakening of the dhi, awakening of the buddhi, that comes through tremendous purity and prayer and mantra japa. That is the beauty of mantras. That's the question somebody said, I go on doing the japa, I don't meditate, what will happen to me? Nothing will happen, and your buddhi will be awakened. Because mantra has a special power, they say, by which we can go deep and cleanse your unconscious mind. Our problem is called unconscious mind. What we do in ordinary meditation, we suppress all that is unconscious, put a beautiful carpet over there, put an asana and incense stick. All the dirt is there below. So the unconscious has to be cleaned. The only process by which the unconscious can be cleaned is the mantra. All this is Madhukari from Swami Bhajanananda ji. So whatever I say, I learned by Madhukari. You know Madhukari Viksha? Sannyasis go and collect food from various places. So the intellectual Madhukari, when Bhajanananda just explained how the unconscious is cleaned by the mantra. Mantra has the capacity to delve deep. Saddam Hussein, when he was killed, you know, the missile was invented, it's called Khad missile. You may remember, some of you may remember. He was hiding inside a bunker. Scud missile has the capacity to go penetrate that and exactly hit the target. It did not harm anybody else. So the mantra is a Scud missile which penetrates into the unconscious and kills the bad samskaras which you have acquired through millennia after millions of births. And prayer. Prayer, Ramakrishna emphasized repeatedly. Interesting, the gospel, it doesn't emphasize meditation at all. We always talk about meditation. He says pray, and Vyakulata. Meditation will come naturally. Swami Bhajanananda also used to tell us a very interesting passage from Swami Shivananda Mahapurush Maharaj talks. One young boy came into Mahapurush Maharaj and said, I try to meditate, but I can't make any progress. I see only darkness. What should I do? Then with great compassion, Mahapurush told him, my dear boy, no, you can't meditate. Keep a picture of Ramakrishna and pray to him with tearful eyes, oh Lord, I can't meditate, please help me. This prayer will lead you to meditation. That's a very important idea. You do mantra japa, you keep on praying, and suddenly you will find yourself meditating unconsciously. You don't know when you meditated. It will lead you to meditation. So when the dhi is awakened, things become very easy and fast. Then it will constantly lead you in the right path. What you should do, what you should not do, everything will become clear. So this is the light of the dhi. This light is the light of consciousness. Vedanta used to explain to us. This is not like the tube light of the sun, the light of the moon or the light of the sun. This light of consciousness, the difference between the other lights and this light is, you see that light, the sunlight and the moonlight is different from yourself. In this light of consciousness, when this awakening takes place, you realize that this light is yourself. You are that light, called Atmajyoti. This is discussed elaborately in the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, when the Yajnavalkya Janaka Samvada, he says, what is the Jyoti by which we function? The light of the sun. When the sun says, what is the Jyoti? Light of the moon. When the moon says, what is the Jyoti? The fire. And the fire is also put out, and the sun and the moon are not there. The Jyoti is Vak. Whole thing is dark. Hey, where are you? By Vak we communicate. And when the sun sets and the moon sets and the fire is not there in the Vak is also hushed. What is the Jyoti? Atma Jyoti. What is that Atman? It is this. Astamida Aditya Yagyavalkyas Chandravasyastamide Shantayam Vad Shante Gno Shantayam Vaji Kim Jyoti Revayam Purusha. What is the Atman? Katamaatmeti Yoyam Vijnanamaya Praneshu Vidyanta Jyoti Purusha Samana Sannabho. This is Atma Jyoti, which is your own within the light of consciousness, by which you do all functions. So Atma Jyoti becomes a reality to you when the Dhi is awakened. At the moment, why we are not able to concentrate, we are not able to meditate is because we are not sure of our own real existence as the Atma. We have heard from the books, we have heard from lectures, from YouTube now, we learn from the various acharyas, but we have not felt the reality of the Atma Jyoti, which are we, which is our own consciousness. When the awakening takes place, you clearly see we clearly see the light of consciousness, and you know there is a reality which has to be pursued. Then only Vyakulata arises. We are not able to pursue God, we don't have the Vyakulata, we don't have the longing because we don't think it to be real. Again, simple parable of Sri Ramakrishna. He says there's a thief in one corner of a room, and there is a small screen in between. On the other side, there's a huge amount of gold. Then Ramakrishna says, if the thief knows there is gold, will he be able to keep quiet? The idea is you should know first there's gold. So when we realize the Atman, through the awakening of the Dhi, you will know that there is a consciousness, light of consciousness, which is you. That knowledge of this light makes you long to realize it more fully. Then you realize this Atman, this light, is the light of the supreme light. Tat Shubhram Jyotisham Jyoti Jyotira Jyoti Ujjvala Vriti Kandara. The Aratrikasim. Jyotisham Jyoti, you are Jyotira Jyoti, Jyotisham Jyoti Ujjvala Vriti Kandara. You illumine the cave of my heart. So this awakening, when it takes place, the real longing begins. This awakening, Ramanujacharya calls it as Jnana, Jnana of the Pratyagatman. Then the awakening takes place, you long for the Supreme Spirit, which is called, he calls it Bhakti. Therefore, Ramanuja says first the Jnana, then Bhakti. Meaning, this Jnana is the Jnana of the Pratyagatman, then the Bhakti, that means tremendous longing to realize the supreme light, of which this light is only a pale light. Tat Shubhram Jyotisham Jyotihi Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam dema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agni tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. By that light which shines, everything gets a shine, and it is possible to realize this in this life now through intense prayer, which is the easiest method. And Bhagavan says, the Sri Krishna says in the Gita again and again, do everything, ultimately come to me, I will help you. Tapasvibhyo digo yogi, jnanibhyo vi patorika, karmibhyo pato yogi, tasmad yogi bhava Arjuna. Be a yogi, and ends by saying, yoginam api sarvesham madhyate antaratmana, shraddhavan bhajate yovam, the greatest of yogis is he who is one-pointedly devoted to me and comes to me for help. He is the greatest of yogi. So we have come to Sri Ramakrishna, the greatest yogis of yogis, and Swami Vivekananda, who is guiding us all the time, Mother who is blessing us. So let us awaken to this consciousness and realize ourselves first as the spirit apart from the body. This is a Pratyagatman realization, and the longing to go that will happen. The Jnana part, pure Jnana part, of the longing, you don't go to God and Ishvara. You straight away to the Mahavakyas, straight away go to Brahman. That's a very high level of path. The pure Jnanis do that. But we combine Jnana and Bhakti as well as Tantra through Mantra Japa as taught by Sri Ramakrishna. It's a huge subject, some of which we have heard from the elders. So let that happen sooner rather than later for us. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna. Thank you.
Yeah,